Happy Devils Thursday. This is Devils Game Day Live. The Let's Go Devils podcast. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Vinny Parisi out in Chicago. Vinny, big game tonight. The undefeated New Jersey Devils, 2-0-0, go against the Washington Capitals, who the Devils had a lot of problems with last season. Couple injuries to talk about. What about Jack Hughes?
Yeah, so Jack Hughes went down with an injury. Is it Jeremy Lozon on the Seattle Kraken? He hit him and took him down. There was some debate whether or not it was a dirty hit. Jack Hughes definitely put himself in a vulnerable position. I don't think there's much debate about that, but he's going to be out for a while. Well, we hope not too long. He's going to be reevaluated next week. No surgeries required, but it's certainly going to be tough for him, or tough for the team rather, to get by without him. He's been that good so far.
Yeah, and dislocated shoulder. Thankfully, there's no surgery needed. They will reevaluate next week. But Jonathan Bernier's out day to day. Scott Wedgwood in. Nico Dawes backing him up. That's a little bit of a problem. But then again, Scott Wedgwood last year, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought he played pretty well in the backup role.
Yeah, Scott Wedgwood was better than we would have expected last season. He's not necessarily the guy you want playing 65 games for your NHL team, but when you have Mackenzie Blackwood dealing with a heel injury like he is, or you have Jonathan Bernier with his new lower body injury that he now is dealing with, he's a good number 3 to have ready to go in case you need him for whatever reason, and the Devils need him today.
Yeah, for those that are listening and watching right now, we're on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. You can find us on Facebook at Let's Go Devils Podcast and on Twitter at Let's Go Devils Pod. So Alexander Ovechkin, Tom Wilson and company, John Carlson coming into town. We're going to beat a dead horse again, the penalty kill. The penalty kill. It's been the Achilles heel of the New Jersey Devils, but they did play a little bit better against the Seattle Kraken, 5-on-3. They gave up that one goal, but they had the insurance policy. They held them down, win 4-2 on the Zacha empty netter in the end there. I think it all boils down to, can Dougie Graves and Ryan Graves and Dougie Hamilton, can they push them away from Scott Wedgwood?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We talked about it at length on last show, and we talk about it off air. New Jersey's penalty kill. If you go on a 5-on-3, there's a chance you're going to give up a goal. An NHL team like the Seattle Kraken or whoever it may be around the league, you could pick the worst team in the league, the Arizona Coyotes, the Buffalo Sabres, whoever you want to pick. Those guys can score 5-on-3 no matter what. They're not always going to, but they're going to have good chances. They're going to get good looks on net naturally. And the Kraken buried one. So that was kind of like a miscue on the team. You can't be taking penalties when you're on the penalty kill. And that's part of the penalty kills issue. Like, stop taking penalties while you're there. But when it's the Washington Capitals, things are a little bit different. I saw someone walk in behind you wearing that TJ Oshie jersey. That's a guy who's chilling in. There were a couple Washington Capitals fans that walked in behind you. I think one of them was wearing an Oshie jersey.
I'm looking for them right now. Oh, I see one right now. Are you talking about that?
Yeah, there's the TJ Oshie. Yep, the TJ Oshie jersey sitting right there next to Jersey Joe. What's going on, Jersey Joe? Those guys, he chills in front of the net. You got Carlson at the point, Backstrom running the half wall, and then, of course, Evgeny Kuznetsov's doing his thing all over the place. And then there's Alexander Ovechkin chilling in his spot. He's the greatest power play goal scorer in the history of the game, and that's going to be a tough challenge for New Jersey's penalty kill. If there was a game to gain momentum on that kill, it's tonight. You stop Ovechkin from scoring a goal like he always seems to do against New Jersey. Win or lose, the Devils give up goals to Ovechkin. And if you could figure out ways to stop that today. Outside. There we go. We got
See
some
a Redskins
Capitals
jersey
fan.
outside. Yeah.
Yep, looking good out there. It's a good looking
Subban,
jersey.
Elias. Yeah.
Yep. And so, yeah, you figure out ways to stop that. It's good momentum going forward because not many teams in the league present a threat on the power play quite like the Washington Capitals. Maybe the Edmonton Oilers are the only ones who I would put in that category of teams where one of two guys make the entire unit scary. So it's going to be a big test.
Just want to say happy Devil's Thursday to Stacy White in the Facebook Live. Mike Rossi, happy Devil's Thursday. Thank you for watching. So, it's a big game. Another game on Saturday against Buffalo. We're going to have Chico Resch here at Todd Lounge 973 on Saturday. So these two games, Vinny, if they can beat Washington, now Buffalo's playing pretty well themselves. I mean, they're off to a hot start, aren't they?
Yeah, so the Buffalo Sabres are an interesting team. They're 3-0, and they've played Montreal, Arizona, and Vancouver. And so their next three games are Boston, New Jersey, Tampa Bay. So if they're 3-3-0 by this time next week, I wouldn't be too surprised. But at the same time, they just keep challenging teams all season long, and it's been good for them so far. So the Devils can't be looking past Washington, obviously. But win or lose against the Capitals tonight, you need to play at your best against Buffalo because they've already proven teams that they can come to play. Even though they're not the deepest lineup in the league, they can make things difficult.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you.
Difficult. We're going to try to get Buffalo wings here for Saturday. They have Buffalo wings here at Todd's Lounge 973. So
I can make some Buffalo wings happen here in Chicago
contest.
too.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we have a Buffalo wings contest virtually as you're in Chicago?
Oh, you know I'd be down for that.
You what? I think we should do. Jersey Joe, will you go for a Buffalo wing contest on Saturday? Are you going to be here Saturday?
Jersey Joe will be able to
Why don't you
fetch
put on the
everyone
headset?
some Buffalo
Why don't you put
wings.
on the headset?
I got faith in Jersey Joe.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, we can hear you,
All right,
Jersey
so
Joe.
I won't be here Saturday, but if I was, I'll probably down a few wings. So let's stick with that.
What are your favorite flavors, Jersey Joe?
Oh, man. Jeez. If it had maple syrup on it, I'll take it.
Jersey Joe, you're going to have to come into the camera a little bit.
Oh, hold on a second.
Yeah. We
got me-
didn't really plan this.
You got me boxed out kind of like the Sasquatch Squad did with the Kraken last game.
It's all the COVID rules or
All right.
whatever. All right. How about that? Now you're on
That's
camera.
better.
All right, that's better.
Jersey
right.
Joe's always looking good when he slides right in there and gets everything going. When he's done talking about Buffalo wings, I want to get his take on something Devils related.
Yeah. No, Jersey Joe, we're still in beta form. Hold on a sec. Let me show him the tag. See, we're in beta version right now. So we should have a monitor there, but if you look there, then you're kind of looking off camera. You see that? So
now I'm looking at this one.
Yeah, you got to look at this one.
Good thing it's beta version.
Yeah. See, anytime you put a beta tag on it, everyone's forgiving. As soon as you take that beta tag off,
Forget it.
the criticisms, they're not even constructive. They just hate you.
I
But
know.
if the beta tag, it's actually a good concept.
And with the beta tag there, they'll see a screw up by one of us and they'll be like, "Oh, it's just the beta version." They're trying to figure stuff out still.
Yeah. It's ingenious, right?
Of course he's the genius.
Whistler says, hello from Texas on the YouTube Live. Hello, Whistler. Also, lead plays. Evening, guys. Going to be a tough game tonight, but feel confident with these players. I reckon a overtime win 3-2. I predicted 2-1. 2-1 victory over the Washington Capitals in overtime. I just don't think they're going to get it done in regulation. What's your prediction, Vinny? Are you pessimistic? Are you optimistic?
Go ahead, Jersey Joe. You could go
It's on
first.
you, Vinny. All right, so you want me to take the puck first. All right, so I have the Devils at 4-3 today in regulation. It's going to get a little tight. I mean, they'll be up 3-2 going to the third. and then they're going to ice it with a 4-3 right there. So
I like that.
Vinny,
I like
who
that.
do
I agree with
have
you.
scoring the first one?
The first goal of the game today, I like Yegor Sharangovich in that goal or in that role. He hasn't scored his first yet, but he's had his chances. We haven't seen the lineups yet unless they've been announced since we started this show, but I'm assuming he's going to have a good centerman. I think Michael McLeod was practicing with him. So either way, there's going to be good chances. I like Yegor Sharangovich's. I think he has outstanding potential to score lots of goals in this league. And if he gets things started today, it wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't go on to just recycle this from last time, but I do think Sharagovich is going to crack it eventually, but you got to feel that it's going to be like Dawson's Creek today because Dawson's going to find another way to score.
I
really like
completely
that.
Agree. I like
I
that
wanted your take
reference.
on something.
Dawson Mercer's. What's that, Vinny?
I rewatched the Kraken game almost in its entirety, and every single time Nico Hischier was on the ice, he did something incredible. And the stats don't necessarily reflect it in terms of goals and assists. And I think sometimes when people only look at that, they get kind of angry with the kid. But I'm watching. He's making plays. Brat's shooting it right into the goalie's pads. You know, he's making defensive plays. He set up that beautiful empty net assist and then celebrated while sitting on his rear end. Just every single time this kid is on the ice, he's doing something that helps the Devils in any way. And he doesn't care if it's gaudy or if it's flashy. Just as long as he's doing the right thing to help the team win, it goes a long way. And I wanted both of your guys' takes on that topic because it's kind of a somewhat of a sore subject on Twitter because there are people that hate the kid, there are people that love him, and I'm like, how can you watch this guy and not see anything else other than greatness?
Well, why don't you go first?
About Ryan Graves?
No, Nico
So,
Hischier.
Nico? All right. So what I'll say about Nico is that he's a workhorse. He's that two-way guy like I talked about recently. And he's got that workman mentality that really is that lunch and pail worker. So he sets up a lot of his top pairing wingers for success. And in the last game, if you noticed, he did a lot of the dirty areas. He cleaned it out, and he was trying to pass it to guys like Zaka and whoever was on his wing to set him up for those high danger scoring chances. You want to generate those opportunities in the fun zone, as we like to think of it as, because, you know, when he's doing his thing, you can't stop him.
I agree.
Well, Nico Hischier, something that, again, I hate stats. I've never been a stats guy, except for maybe baseball, winning percentage, batting average. But in hockey, leadership is a huge thing. You can't put a metric on that. Nico Hischier, there were times when the Devils were struggling, down 5-0 in the game, but here comes Nico Hischier with bam, bam, a goal, maybe 2 goals, or assist on the second goal. He's a leader for a reason. He didn't really get a chance to show his leadership as a captain last season for obvious reasons. He had probably the worst luck. And it meant a lot to me as a fan that he actually came back to finish up the season last year, because he could have just mailed it in. Look, I got 7-year contract. I got big bucks to spend. I'm not going to hurt myself for a lost cause. No, he came back.
Well, another thing is, I know I'm bringing this back to his draft year, but I'm looking at Nico, then his Swiss Central European mentality is what I really believe in his captain leadership ahead of the curve before he hit that bell curve in the NHL. So you look at the way he skates and he holds his own self. And Taylor Hall helped him out, although Hall, is he down the road, you know, was a bit of a head case and we had to trade him. So anyways, back to Nico, what this means is he has really, you know, been a fine wine type of player. He's gotten better with age. He's, you know, brewed into something pretty trustworthy and reliable that, you know, you can go to as another center like a McLeod, be like, what could I learn from Nico that makes him successful, not numbers-wise, but playing well in the other team's end and in the neutral zone. And what I noticed in the game against Seattle is that he was able to help take away time and space and reduce the amount of the puck flow from the enemies in the Seattle Kraken. Now, will Nico be up to it again, holding the Capitals by that one very question, just like McLeod might be able to answer the bell? Will someone else, along with Yegor Sharangovich, do that, being down on a guy like Jack Hughes? Will Mercer do it? That's my question for you, Vinny.
I really enjoyed watching Mercer play in his first game and getting that first NHL goal, even though it was like mostly a really nice play by Graves and Tatar to kind of just get the puck right in his wheelhouse so he could put it home. He had an assist in his very first game. He's just earned everything he's gotten so far. And yeah, he was a first-round pick, so he's got loads and loads of talent. But yeah, if someone's going to, especially with the absence of Jack Hughes for at least the next 3 or 4 games, we hope that's all it is. It's got to be done. And having Mercer right there, I'm with you. I think it's huge. And I really hope he scores tonight because that would provide a lot of confidence for the team.
I think I see a celebrity. Is that Johnny Sack from Sopranos sitting next to us? I'm not sure.
Hello, little Fireboy 87.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Celebrity sighting at Taj Lounge 973.
Yeah. Well, there will be a celebrity on Saturday. We got Chico coming. Chico loves the podcast. Any way you can help.
Yeah, I'm excited to
he'll
meet
be
Chico.
here. Yeah. It's always a good time here at Taj Lounge 973. Have you tried the catfish yet?
I did. You know what?
It's actually pretty good.
The catfish is so good. It's probably the most underrated thing at Taj. And I came the last game, and the Devils won with me eating the catfish nuggets in there. And you know what? Devils fans, if you get a chance to come to Taj, they're not paying me to say this, got to try the catfish, man. It's really good.
Wait, so Jersey Joe, you had the catfish last time and they won, and you haven't had it yet today?
I just ate it.
Oh, you did eat it again today. Okay, okay, that's good then.
So
you're in trouble
Austin
though.
Powers would say it's in my belly.
You're in trouble now though, because if they win today, I need you back at that place 79 more times.
Yeah. It's going to be a tradition if they keep winning it. I keep eating catfish. Now, when the Devils get on the ice tonight, my question for you is, Vinny and Sam, now, how many points do you think the Devils will score in the first, second, and third periods?
Yeah, that's a good question. Part of me sees it being an early game for the Washington. They're good. Like I'm watching them, and I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. And with some of the injuries that the Devils have sustained, I'm hoping they're able to keep up. Now, the team is wildly improved from last year where they just had no chance against Washington anytime they played them. But it wouldn't surprise me if Ovechkin gets on the board early. I'm hoping that we at least come out of the first period with a 1-1 tie. Maybe Sharangovich or Nico or someone makes a nice play. But, as long as by the end of the game the Devils have a bigger score than the Capitals, I'm okay with it.
Now, my question is this. Do you see this year's defense showing the Capitals that we're not going to be an easier team to score on? We're going to be a lot harder. Now, do you think the way the Devils were playing in the neutral zone from last game, they can replicate something like that and choke the first, second, and third lines of the Capitals more frequently? Because guys like you said, Oshie, Kuznetsov, Backstrom, those guys, even you mentioned Alexander Ovechkin, the grade 8, will try and create ways to make that. Do you think they will reduce those chances?
I'm hoping they do because they're certainly a lot bigger on defense. You have Graves and Hamilton leading the way. Those guys are, what did we call them last time, Sam? The Twin Towers. Those guys
Twin Towers
are unbelievable.
Twin Peaks.
Yeah, those guys are really good, and as big as they are, they're also skilled too. We're seeing that with Graves a little bit. We expected it with Hamilton. He was one of the best offensive defensemen in the NHL last season, playing for the Carolina Hurricanes. But this year, playing with Graves, who's normally a guy you consider a defensive-minded kind of guy, he's got 3 assists so far. And he's made some nice plays where it's like that guy's offense don't grow on trees. The breakout pass to Tatar to create a 2-on-1 for Mercer's goal was awesome. So yes, Washington is going to learn, to answer your question, Joe. Washington's going to learn quickly that New Jersey's defense isn't the defense of the past, where you just got traffic cones out there who can't handle anything.
Right, and so if Christian Yaros is in there, and let's say Garrett's is still in there, or Frederick Gautier's on the bottom fourth line, this is going to be a rough and tumble, modern day, maybe not as high end crash line, but it's going to be something that will soften the other team, the defensively on maybe the second, third pairs. Now, do you think that'll be a battle tactic that Lindy Ruff will use a little bit more often, bring them out in waves and hammer out the top two lines?
It might depend on the flow of the game. I kind of expect the Devils to come out trying to get an early lead. And so they might try and stay away from the extracurricular activities. But for now, I'm totally thinking that there's a chance that they just try to play hard and score goals. And without Jack Hughes, it's going to be a little more difficult to come by offense at a higher level. So you might want to see guys like Nico and McLeod and Mercer lead the way down the middle without trying to rough and tumble as much, because we saw where that was starting to lead them late in the Kraken game. They started getting into penalty trouble, and they gave up the 5-on-3 goal. So hopefully they keep it as clean as they can, at least in the early going.
Now, my question is this. So let's say they clean that up, right? And the penalty kill is a lot better. And let's see how the Devils can do it with, let's say, if Wedgewood's starting. Now, do you think he's going to have, let's say, a pretty above average to pretty solid night in net if, the Sasquatch squad can, push away the Capitals, like guys like Anthony Mantha, who was traded for Jakub Vrana last year. Do you think they can keep him off the board as well?
Yeah, so Anthony Mantha is a great player, and he's definitely going to be all over the ice and create scoring chances for himself and others. But the Devils are in a better spot than most NHL teams would be if they lost their top two goalies. Most teams would just play some guy you've never heard of before if your top two went down. The Devils, Wedgewood played okay last year. He's certainly not like a superstar or the guy you want playing 60 games. I don't even know if I would want him playing like 35, 40 games. But for one game, if needed, we'll see what happens with Bernier. And I think Wedgewood's a little closer to returning than not. Maybe by the time the homestand is over. You don't want Wedgewood going much longer than that, but for one game against Washington and kind of a pinch, I think he'll have a pretty good game. But I certainly don't think it'll be his fault if they lose.
So, Vinny, what did you eat last game that the Devils won? Do you have a game day routine for today?
Ooh. Today, I'm trying to think. The last game against
routine.
I just work all day on content until I'm done and 5 o'clock comes. I had a show earlier today at 2 o'clock, our baseball show. So that's part of my routine on Thursdays. I'm trying to think of what I ate on the Kraken game. The Kraken game was what day of the week? It was Tuesday. I don't even know what I ate that day. I couldn't tell you. Yeah. Maybe some chips or something. I couldn't tell you. I know I probably had a Red Bull to drink, and I had one today.
So whatever those chips were, get them.
Yeah, well, as long as you keep eating that catfish jersey, Joe, I think we'll be good.
You know what? I eat more pescatarian these days, so I stick to the fish as much as I can. So it's not just the North Jersey coastline in me. It's more like I just like something good, clean, and fresh, and it feels like a winner. So
that's good to hear. Normally, my game day routine revolved around text messages Sam sends me telling me when to get on to, get ready for this show. And so that's been a winner 2 times in a row so far. So we'll see how it goes for this game.
We're undefeated. We are undefeated if we do this podcast here at Taj Lounge 973 across the street from the Prudential Center, 35 Edison Place. Pre-game destination for your New Jersey Devils, I think at least. Now I'm starting to – the internet's bad here, but I'm starting to get some of the comments in the Facebook Live Sort of sarcasm, Hughes out, season over, sky is falling. I don't think so. John Tanaka writes, would love to see Janssen, Mercer, and Holtz at some point. I got confused by that.
Oh, Andreas Janssen, you talking about?
Yeah.
Touchdown, set hike.
Andre Johnson.
Sorry, I had to do that for Scotty.
Matt Junio says Graves and Hamilton have to step up tonight. Obviously.
Duh,
But how
obviously.
about Damon Severson last game?
You know what?
Yeah,
I will
I thought-
tell you this. When I watched Severson, he looked very comfortable coming on for his first game. Now he's going to step it up even more and probably even more time on ice.
Absolutely. The offense that Damon Severson provides doesn't grow on trees. I've been saying it for a long time. He makes a lot of boneheaded moves that when you watch him, you go, what are you doing? And then there are other times where it's like he has the hockey IQ to see that when Jack Hughes takes the puck at the top of the point, he has the hockey IQ to drive the net from that point forward, knowing his teammate is going to create something that leads to the puck being empty there in the slot, and he just pushes in the rebound. For a defenseman to get that low on a play that works like that, knowing just the skill and the wherewithal of his centerman, to me speaks volumes, and I was very impressed with that Severson goal.
Well, you want to know something? It's the battery mate who you're paired with that makes the difference in the world. Like, Dougie and Graves are the two main Sasquatches you need to complement each other. Dougie can do both ways on offense and defense. Gravesy's more like that. Yes, I can skate very well, but I'm going to, like, chip in the puck offensively, but I'm going to heavy hit this guy if I have to.
Gotta look at that camera.
So, yeah, what I would say is whoever they have for, like, if it's Yarosh or someone like that on the other second and third pairing lines, I think the Devils will have better chances of winning and keep the guys to the outside of the no-fun zone. So my question for you is, Vinny, do you think the Devils will increase their odds on the power play if Zacha gets going and maybe Dougie Hamilton gets going?
Yeah, I like the idea of using Hamilton on the top unit. He's the most skilled defenseman on the team, in my opinion, and he's the most proven lately. And so when Ty Smith comes back, I'm probably using him as the second unit. But you can use two defensemen on the second unit. Some people think using two defensemen on the power play is illegal. Certainly not. You can have Severson and Smith on the second unit, and then run Hamilton with 4 forwards on the top unit. And so if Zacha gets back to where he was last year in terms of his goal scoring, he could be an asset on the power play. He's a big body. He's hard to move. And he's got some skill, whether people want to admit it or not. So I definitely think he has a chance to help improve the power play.
Guys, we got 1 minute left. Great podcast today. We'll be back. Scotty and I, Devils After Dark, our post-game podcast, live here at Taj Lounge 973. Jersey Joe, thank you for joining us. Any last words?
All right, I'll just say, everybody, give me a D! Give me an E! LS, what's that spell? Devils!
Yeah, that's why we're in
I would have
beta
chanted
version.
it with
I
would have chanted it with you if I was there and there wasn't a delay.
Yeah.
They're not primed up yet.
Yeah.
Try to test them.
Well, thank you, Jersey Joe. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you, everybody, for listening, watching in online. There were people from the UK and Australia that were chiming in. We're global now.
Very
We're
cool.
global. Yep. Well, we'll see you after the game for Devils After Dark. Till next time, let's go,
Let's go
Devils.
Devils.